What's good, YouTube? How you all doing? I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. Now, first things first, Happy New Year to you all. Here's to a great 2017. I know quite a few people didn't like 2016, so let's be done with that year and let's crack on with 2017. The time has come. I've put this video off for a significant amount of time now. You know, I initially planned to have it out in November when the game actually drops, but that didn't work out. It's mainly due to the fact that I've kind of had a lot of other games to play, or that I've actually wanted to play, and I've not really found the time to play Modern Warfare Remastered to get some good enough footage really to put in the background whilst I waffle over the top here. But now Ty and M will tell you that it's because I'm a scrub lord at COD and that I'm just not good enough to get footage. They could possibly be right, but it takes a scrub to know a scrub, so anyway, I've put this off for long enough. It's time to jump straight into what my thoughts are on Modern Warfare Remastered and what content / series I've got coming up for it. When COD 4 was released back in 2007, it was an absolutely fantastic game. You know, the single player experience was easily Infinite Warfare's best work to date. It was intense, but calling it intense may be an actual understatement. But the relationships built over the short 5 hours of play are surprisingly strong. You know, you end up sort of like missing the characters after the campaign. And though the single player sort of lacks length, the multiplayer definitely kept everybody invested in COD 4 for the long haul. It was, at the time, a truly fantastic multiplayer offering. And it was significantly deeper in what you got than any other online game worldwide, like anywhere. At the time, it was a gamble going into a modern day game. You know, COD 1, 2 and 3 were all set in World War II. People enjoyed that. That's what the franchise was known for. And then when it moved into modern day, it was a big gamble, and it was a gamble that definitely paid off. You know, jump forward 9 years, and the game is just as good as I remembered. You know, some of you know COD 4 is and was my favourite COD of all time. I've been playing since COD 3, and at the time COD 4 was so far ahead of any other FPS games, it was absolutely hilarious. People will say that Modern Warfare 2 was better than COD 4, but these folk didn't have an Xbox at the time, so they kind of didn't get COD 4 on release. You kind of had to have COD 4 to know just how good it was. You know, it was so far ahead of any other game at the time. Nothing could keep up with it, and just purely based on how good it was at the time, it'll always be my best and most favourite COD. Maybe I'm wearing my green tinted glasses, but who cares? I love COD 4. You know, back in 2007 when I got it, I invested 37 days into it. Most of that was during my GCSEs, so sorry mum and dad. After years of futuristic CODs, going back to present day with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered was definitely a welcome return. Though the level design and the slow pace of the game are definitely dated, you know, the core of Modern Warfare's combat has aged remarkably well, and that foundation just keeps its action movie style campaign and its multiplayer fun, you know, like even 9 years down the line. However, outside of its impressive facelift, the multiplayer offering has some incredible flaws. You know, I'm not going to go into significant detail about what it is that I really dislike about the game, because I could be here for hours. But, you know, in short, the Modern Warfare 16, the M16, Juggernaut, and the Spawns, they can all do one. You know, in 2007, there was no way an M16 was going to one burst me across the map. In 2007, there was no way an M16 could get a triple collab. In 2007, there was no way Juggernaut could have that much survivability. You know, you get the gist. In 2007, none of this was like this. You know, the changes they've made, I thought they were just going to copy and paste multiplayer over from then until now, and nothing really was going to be changed. But, you know, I really dislike it. To me, it's almost kind of game breaking. And the biggest flaw of them all, for me personally, being a big Domination fan, are the Spawns. You know, you're supposed to be rewarded for teamwork. But for example, you capture A and B in Domination, you're supposed to be able to spawn trap people at C. That's what you're rewarded for. It's called Domination. It's not called, like, let the other team have a chance. You're supposed to dominate the other team. But, you know, you're camping at C, you're spawn trapping them in, and all of a sudden they spawn behind you because COD doesn't like it. It's unfair on the opposition team. I can't begin to tell you the amount of times I've been shot in the back. Honestly, I think it's more times than I've changed my boxers in the 24 years of my life. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but again, you get the gist. Over Christmas, you know, COD 4 had a big update. You know, supply drops were added in. Don't get me started on supply drops. That's one can of worms I'm never going to be opening, because that's like a 4-hour long video going into my thoughts on supply drops. Thankfully, supply drops in COD 4 at the moment, just cosmetics. You know, makes your gun look pretty, makes your character a bit different, gives you females. You know, I'm all for females in this game. However, it's a feature that I don't really think should have been added. You know, it's wicked that they've added in some new game modes like Kill Confirmed. That's brilliant. Love that game mode. Bring that into COD 4. It's not going to break the game. Supply drops. Yeah, again, I don't want to get into it. Put simply, Modern Warfare is unfortunately no longer modern. You know, the level design and the lack of campaign progression, you know, like the length of it, reveal its true age. You know, you can sense here that it's a 9-year-old game. However, I'm definitely not to be mistaken here. It's not outdated. You can't compare a game from 2007 to a game of 2016. It's a classic, and the effort that has gone like into improving the graphics, the textures, the effects have enhanced it enough that playing through the campaign, it was still, again, rewarding. It was wicked. The multiplayer has obviously benefited from the graphics upgrade too, and its refreshingly old school pace, very slow, albeit, is fun and explosive in its own right. But in my opinion, it's currently sitting in some game-breaking flaws. All the dev team needs to do is just work on a bit of gun balancing. You know, I really don't think it's much. Just to change the power of the M16, take the Juggernaut down a little bit. You know, Juggernaut doesn't have a counter. Stopping power has a counter. Juggernaut. Why doesn't Juggernaut have a counter? I don't see how someone can kill someone so quick with an M16, even with Juggernaut. It should be at least a 3 or 4 round burst. You know, snipers, you can't get one shots with them. It infuriates me. And again, I really don't want to be going into that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered might not have the same effect it did the first time around, but it works as both a great embodiment of what shooters used to be and one that still works well to this day. And I love it. You know, I haven't played Modern Warfare Remastered as much as I've wanted to, and that's because of these things that are really pissing me off. You know, I don't want to be going into the games playing up against just this M16 and Juggernaut. It's just incredibly infuriating. What I'm going to be doing with content and a series with COD 4 is I'm going to do something pretty fun, right? I'm going to be playing Search and Destroy, but I'm going to be making some funky classes, you know. I'm going to be doing rounds where I can only knife, I can only use a shotgun. You know, I'm going to be doing face cam, and hopefully I can bring in a few mini games as well with a few of my friends who played Call of Duty 4. You know, I'm going to be making it sort of a more entertaining side of things instead of like a road to prestige or a road to leveling up, because I'm not grinding the game as much as I kind of actually wanted to. Things may change if the game changes a bit and gets a bit of an update, but until further notice, yeah, I'm just going to be doing a bit of a fun series. So yeah, let me know if you want to see that. It's going to be quite interesting. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, this is now my 3rd episode of Let's Talk. You know, if you're enjoying this series, please talk to me. Tell me if there's any other games that you want me to play, or if you want me to talk about, give you my opinion on it. You know, I've just bought Doom. I've got Final Fantasy 15 to talk about too, and then I've also got an indie game which I've given a free code to recently to review, and that is called Ballistic Overkill. Absolutely incredible game. But if you've enjoyed this video, guys, you know what to do. Smash the like button, hit me with a subscribe, and drop a comment in the section below. And until next time, I'll miss you.